I tried to spoil my girlfriend with a concert but dumped her the next morning. Girlfriend got really mad that we ran into people in a band that she doesn't like, and now I'm thinking of ending things due to her behavior. I, 27 male, have been with my girlfriend, 27 female, for almost 3 years. This feels dumb even typing it out. Tonight was supposed to be a great night. A band that my girlfriend really loves was on tour. I spent hundreds of dollars on tickets and a hotel and we drove 3 hours to the show all for it to get spoiled. We went to the bar to get a drink and someone recognized me and said hi. I introduced my girlfriend and we made small talk and went our separate ways. Then we were talking about it and I told her they were in this band that she hates. It's already been previously established that I like the band. She really doesn't. And she always goes on a rant about them and insults them anytime they are brought up. There's a decently big band, like over 1 million streams on Spotify anyway. Her reasons for not liking them are strictly about the music, not any controversies or anything personal. I thought we would share a laugh over the fact that she finally met people in this band that she hates and they turned out to be pleasant people who are also fans of one of her favorite bands. Nope. She was pissed for some reason and started ranting about how she hates them and their loser fans. I told her I can't control who I ran into in public and that it's kind of silly for her to get so worked up over it. Then she angrily went off to get another beer. I went over to her to stand next to her in line, and she yelled, "Get away from me," in front of a bunch of people. I basically decided at that point that this was the last straw. We have broken up previously over her yelling at me in public, and there have been more times than I can count where I take her to some event or on a trip, and I regret taking her because it is impossible for me to predict what she is going to get mad at me about next. Of course, it is my fault every time, and even if I apologize, it will still be held against me forever. Anyway, she came back all apologetic and we ended up having a good night and I thought it was behind us. Then we got back to the hotel and I was like, "Hey, I have a video to show you." And then she was like, "It better not be that effing band," and proceeded to go on a 5-minute uninterrupted rant about them again while insulting them and people who like them. So me, I was just kind of taken aback. I said to her, "All I said was I have a video to show you and then you go on a rant. That's kinda nuts." This turned into, like, 15 minutes of arguing, and she's blaming me for taking it personally and making a bigger thing out of it than it is. Now she's asleep and I'm still awake in bed typing this out, planning on breaking things off tomorrow once I have made it home safely. OP, no, you're not overreacting. She ruined what could have been a great night that you planned for her because this isn't a band that you're particularly interested in. It's a band that she likes, and the tickets weren't cheap, plus the 3-hour drive in the hotel room. And she lost it because in the bar, she actually got to talk to the people that were in a band that she hated that she didn't even know apparently were in the band until you told her later. And then her yelling at you, "Get away from me," in front of everyone. Opie, that's not the final straw. That's a whole log. I don't know what's her deal. If she's got anger issues or whatever it is not yours. However, you are the punching bag here, so you need to get out of that situation. As you say, get home safe and then run for the hills. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. And now let's move on to the community comments. I want to say Deathkill95, but I'm not sure. Says, "Not overreacting. Get rid of her. She's miserable. Go let her ruin her own time and you enjoy yours and surround yourself with people that actually treat you like a person." Snoocomics27 says, "Not overreacting. She is unwilling to accept your boundaries and continues to humiliate you in public without question. It is disrespectful and immature. Not to mention the fact that this whole fight started over an inexplicable hatred for a band. Lol. She is certainly dealing with an underlying mental health issue. Having a partner with explosive anger issues is exhausting and possibly dangerous, and it seems like nothing has changed over 3 whole years. Do yourself a favor and find someone who is kind to you. Good luck." And OP responds, "Things were so good at first. Man, I thought she was the one. It was only like a year, maybe a year and a half that things started getting bad. It's like she used to be happy just going anywhere with me, and then suddenly nothing was good enough anymore." I'm Not Smart says, "The yelling at you in public is not cool. Some people could take that the wrong way and start yelling at you to leave and possibly get physical with you. Bad thing aside, anyone who treats you like that in public doesn't have your best interest in mind and don't understand that doing that can cause you great harm. This time, you got lucky. Next time, who knows?" And your little dog too says, "Not overreacting. Your girlfriend sounds like she's 7, not 27. I can't imagine a mentally stable adult acting this way. My partner likes bands whose music I don't particularly care for, but I would never denigrate it because I love that he loves it. Hell, I've even gone to a few concerts with him. Even if it's not my cup of tea, I get so much joy from seeing him enjoying the music. Break up with your girlfriend. Life is too short to spend it with someone so miserable and mean." OP's edit. Thank you guys for sharing your opinions and letting me vent. It's very late, but I can't sleep and really needed this outlet. In just the last 3 weeks, I've lost my job and a family member. Losing my girlfriend to too just feels like another kick in the balls, but I worry it might hurt me more to stay with her. I hate to be all poor me, but things have been rough, and I have a hard time sharing stuff like this with people that I know, so I appreciate all of you. Well, the community agrees that OP is not overreacting and that he should dump the girlfriend. And we also learned that OP is going through some stuff that's pretty hard, but I don't think he should stay with his girlfriend just because, he might feel a little bit lonely. Sometimes it's better to be alone than have crappy company. Anyways, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. I feel like I have made a terrible mistake. I am crushed. It's like I ripped my own heart out. I was teetering on the edge of a hole and I pushed myself in toward rock bottom. And now I'm wondering why I did this to myself. I want to take it back, but I can't. It was a long car ride back. She tried patching things up this morning. She could definitely tell something was up and was adamant that we use the 3-hour drive to have a talk and try to fix things. She was optimistic even. She still blamed the band for ruining the night, but admitted that her yelling at me was not okay. I told her that this one night was not even the big issue. It's the pattern that's the issue. I am hurting badly and I don't feel supported at all. And it hurts to me to see her upset and it feels like I can't make her happy no matter what I do, which just makes me feel even worse and I just can't do it anymore. I brought up how we'd broken up before, and when we got back together, we agreed to handle things differently. But now it feels like we're just right back where we were, only now I'm even lower than I was then. She made it seem like she is fine with how things are going. She just gets jealous and angry. No big deal. When we talked, she emphasized that it's more about her being jealous because there's a female in the band that I like. And it was kind of strange because I poured my heart out and then she was quiet for like 20 minutes. Then I said it was strange that she wants us to fix it but isn't saying anything about how we might do that. She said, well, it seems like you already made up your mind, and I can't change who I am. And then she said, if I really loved her and had a passion for her, then I would make us do the work to stay together and wouldn't give up. Guys, I can't tell you how many times we fought and then had conversations that at the time seemed productive about how we can be better moving forward, which ended up changing absolutely nothing. I tried to make it work, and it took a long time for me to give up. She also asked if I found someone else because this was so sudden and out of nowhere. And I'm like, it's not out of nowhere. We fight all the time, and I've been telling you that I don't feel loved. We shifted gears eventually and reminisced about the good times, which I guess to her was misleading because then she seemed to think we weren't breaking up, and that's when I said, I think we are. I don't know what else to do. It just kind of spilled out of me and she was shocked and angry. And then she didn't want to talk anymore. And now she is gone and I am in shambles. I feel really bad and it hurts even more knowing she probably feels as bad as I do right now. Maybe even worse. I feel like maybe if I were in a better state of mind, I would not have done this, but I've been so down that I don't know what else to do. It's like I just said, oh, this hurts. I gotta make it stop without really thinking about the long-time repercussions. I don't know. I don't think she's a bad person. I think she is very sensitive and has trouble managing her emotions. I don't think it's intentional, but I have reached my limit of being able to manage that along with the other things that are wrong with my life. I was so much better off 2 years ago than I am today in terms of my career, my financial situation, my social life, and happiness. She was a big part of why things were so good when they were. Are you sure about that? It's like I went from having it all to having nothing. I was living the dream. The trajectory of my life has been altered dramatically. Suddenly, I'm 27 and still the same loser I was when I was 21. No job, no girlfriend, still living with mom. I will make things better. But right now, life is just really hitting me hard. Oh, to me it sounds like you were in a very toxic relationship and right now you're in the detox stage. Oh, you're not a loser. You're just in a rough patch. Start small. Quit beating yourself up and grab one win like a job app or walkout sign. You said it yourself. You will make it better. That's the spark. Lean on that, not the past. So here's wishing you the best, OP. Take care and thanks for sharing. Now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit, Am I the a-hole? And it's by user OKBig8626. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex that I wouldn't care if he died? I, 25 female, was with my ex, 26 male, from junior year of high school to my sophomore year of college. We were inseparable and went to the same university, but he was a year ahead of me. My birthday is late August, and my first semester back after his graduation, he only got 2-year degree. He called me for my birthday and ended the call with, "Let's break up." To say I was heartbroken would be an understatement. I found out 2 weeks later that he was dating a staff member at my school that was around our age. They apparently headed off during his summer employment, and he waited until my birthday to switch over to her. She often would find me on campus and try to talk to me, but I was so sad and heartbroken that I never told her to leave me alone. After my graduation, I also got a 2-year degree because I couldn't be there anymore. I moved to a city about 20 minutes from my hometown. I got a good job and a decent apartment. Before I officially moved in, I found out he proposed to his girlfriend and was moving to a house not far from my new apartment, which I found odd, but didn't think too much into it because he and I are from the same town. A year into living there, I get a text from an unknown number asking if I wanted this for my birthday, lol. And it was a picture of one of my ex's old high school sweatshirts. I asked who it was, and my ex admitted it was him and begged for my forgiveness because he was young and didn't realize how much he hurt me until now and that he had left the present on my car. I went outside and sure enough, the shirt was on my hood. I decided to reply back, "I forgive you. Please enjoy married life," because I was honestly shocked and didn't want things to escalate because he now knew where I was. Thankfully, I hadn't seen nor heard from him since that because I moved about 6 months later for different reasons. Now, on to the title. I went to an alumni event at my old college to see an old friend there that just had a baby. When I arrived, I noticed that my ex was there with his wife but didn't speak to them. It wasn't until he made his way to me without his wife that we spoke. He told me all about what he's doing and other things without me asking. I replied, "Okay," and didn't ask nor told him anything else. Then he asked, "Why aren't you more interested in knowing what I'm up to? I know that you're doing other things now." I told him that I wouldn't even care if he died and that only friends care about what the other is up to, which we are not. He told me that I hurt his feelings, but went back to his wife and left me alone for the rest of the event. I can't decide if I'm the a-hole because what I did say was rude and my friend says my response was harsh, but I don't understand why he cares so much what I think. Am I the a-hole? No. OP, you're not the a-hole and your ex is just being self-centered and ridiculous. Why would you be at all interested in what's going on in his life? You haven't looked him up anywhere. You haven't asked any questions. He just came up to you and started telling you, like, what? You're, like, supposed to be super great friends after what he did to you. And I'm sorry, but finding out where you live to send you a message because he also found out your phone number asking you if you wanted one of his old shirts. Man, get over yourself and stop being so creepy. I assume you threw that t-shirt in the trash where it belongs. So no, OP, definitely not the a-hole. Just forget about this whole thing and keep living your life. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. And now let's check out the community comments. Holiday Top 1504 says, "Not the a-hole. I think he has a bit of narcissism. 1. He wanted to hurt you when he left you on your birthday for someone else. 2. He moved away and he followed you. 3. He gets your number and finds out where your car is so he can take time out of his married life to give you attention. 4. He says, 'Do you want this for your birthday?' As if he didn't disrespect you on the birthday he left. 5. He proceeds to say he was young and dumb while repeating the same type of immature antics. And 6. Then he gets hurt that you don't care about him or his life. He's obsessed with you. He's trying to find a way to cheat on his wife with you. It's best to block him and move on with your beautiful peaceful life." Mytho di Calataxia says, "Not the a-hole. Sounds like he has a lot of regrets. He probably considers you the one who got away. Most likely, he isn't happy with his marriage and often does the what-if game. You did the right thing by making a definite boundary with him. You deserve to move on. It's not your responsibility to deal with him anymore. He needs to let you be." Past Comprehensive 425 says, "Not the a-hole. Your ex wants his cake and to eat it too. He knows all about your life and wants you to know about his. Possibly, he wants a fling because things aren't that great in his marriage. He just can't perceive that you aren't still madly in love with him. What you said was harsh, but it was probably the reality check he needed for a long time. And sufficient freedom aid," he says, "not the but it's weird SF that he knows where you live. If he reaches out again, I'd say stop or I'm getting a restraining order. He's married. He needs to stop." And OP responds, "I thankfully don't live there anymore, but I guess he knew where I lived because I had the car I had while in high school during that time and saw it on the parking lot." Well, the community definitely agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that the ex is either having marital issues or is a narcissist. Could be both too. Anyways, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. I was not expecting to make an update to this post, especially one so soon. My ex's wife found out about my post on here. I don't know how, but it was probably because I mentioned to the team the sweatshirt was of that he wanted to give me in a comment, or because I mentioned the alumni event. Either way, I had no idea she was on Reddit. She wrote me an email she sent to the email I've had for years, so I assume my ex gave it to her. I'm not going to post exactly what she said, but here are bullet points of what was mentioned. She read my post along with every comment and is upset people are calling her husband an ass and a narcissistic creep. When they started talking that summer, before they started dating, He told her that he and I were just very close friends from childhood and have never been together. She mentioned that they weren't together while he and I were, so he isn't a cheater. But weren't they just supposed to be friends and not together? He apologized to me, so all is fine now. His feelings were hurt by my comments to him at the event, and finding out I threw away his sweatshirt is even more hurtful. Good for you. He has made mistakes, but he isn't a bad person. At the end of the email, she asked me never to contact him again, which I find funny because shouldn't she be telling him that? I am not going to respond to the email, and I have gone through my following on my socials to see if there would be anyone that is close enough to him or her to update them on my life. I only use Facebook anyway and I've never posted about my boyfriend, so I'm not really sure if he knows about that or not. My boyfriend already knew about what my ex did, but he was upset when I showed him the new email. But we've both decided to do nothing about it unless my ex decides to travel over 10 hours to where I live now. I have not posted my new location on Facebook or about where I work, and neither have any of my family and friends, so I should be safe. But that's about it. I am shocked that it only took 2 days for my post to be found. But do know that I am okay, and I appreciate all the comments my previous post got. Hopefully, I won't have another update to this.